In this video, we're going to talk about fractions, and you'll actually learn, when given a pair of fractions, how to identify which fractions are like, or if the pair of fractions is unlike. So let's first talk about what fractions are anyway. Fractions describe quantities that fall between two whole numbers. Well, what are whole numbers? Those are the ones we're used to counting with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 0. If they fall between two of those numbers, we're talking about a fraction. For example, we use these in our real life when we say, I haven't finished my book yet. I'm only 2/5 of the way through it. Or, I'm 9.5 years old, and in 6 months, I'll be 10, right? You're not quite 9, you're not quite 10, you're between 9 and 10. You haven't read none of your book, you haven't read the whole book. You're between 0 and 1. 0 books and 1 whole book, okay? A fraction has two main parts. This fraction, 2/3, has the numerator 2 and the denominator 3. We hear that denominator because the word changes when we say the fraction. Notice, I didn't say 2/3, I said 2/3, okay? So thirds is sort of the family name or last name of this fraction. It describes the denominator. Fractions with the same denominator are called like fractions. So let's look at these 4 pairs of fractions and try to figure out which have the same denominator. 1/8 and 3/8, 4/7 and 4/11, 2/3 and 5/9, 6/10 and 10/6. Which ones do you think are like fractions? Okay, say something so I can hear you if you think these are like fractions. Are the blue ones like fractions? Are the purple like fractions? Is the royal blue like fractions? If you said no to everything and yes to the orange, you are correct. 1/8 and 3/8 are like fractions because their denominators are the same. None of the other pairs are like fractions because even though they might have something in common, they do not have the same denominators. That's how you can tell if fractions are like or unlike. If they're like, they have the same denominator. If they are unlike, they do not have the same denominator.